Greetings, Geechlings. Geechin Prime here with my review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 132, The Plan. And an interesting plan. Basically steal, or not steal, more like just negate the powers, I guess, of all heroes. As Chisaki will say near the end, is that his plan is basically to destroy justice. But leading up to that, we have the meeting of the two leaders of these factions, Chisaki with the 8 prefects of death, and Tamura, the leader of the Villain Alliance. They are re-meeting because they talked on the phone. The little dude's like, hey, it's like you were gonna tell us why you came here and whatnot. And it's like, yes, I have 2 conditions, or, well, he says conditions. The first one is basically that they get to do what they want. Then the other one is more of, what is your whole thing with this plan? And he pulls out a thing, and then the little dude and then the guy in the black, or white, sorry, the white kind of mourner's outfit, which we find out their names. The little dude's name is Mimic. He somehow like morphs into a giant arm. And then the other guy is Chronostasis. I can only assume Mimic's name refers to that he can mimic other people's powers, or at least mimic something. And then Chronostasis possibly is a time freezer, if you will. A time stopper, whatever, can stop time. He had a gun to Tamura's head, and Mimic had a fist and was holding on to him and everything. And Chisaki's like, stand down. It's like, he did come here to, to think about the future of things. We also find out that like the hideout that they're in right now is truly a hideout. It's the one that we saw a few chapters back when Night Eye was telling them about it and everything. It's like, we suspect that that's Chisaki's hideout, but we have no proof. It looks really normal on the outside, but on the inside apparently is quite cavernous with a connection network of tunnels bringing it all together. And Tamura was sent through about 30 minutes of just going around in circles, and it's like, we don't, Chisaki explains that, hey, we don't know who's watching and what someone who's visiting might be thinking, so play it safe. Given your line of work, that's probably a good idea. So yeah, he goes to reach for his thing. That's when they attacked him, but then is like, no, let him go. And he pulls out what looks to be like a little needle bullet. It's not revealed until later, and that's what it is. It is a neutralizer of powers. They mention All For One controlled people by stealing their powers. This, I can only assume, either somehow like sucks in their powers into the bullet and then it can be used by someone else, or it's just a neutralizer and takes away their powers forever. It seems more likely it's the latter. He was like, well, as I already stated, it's like the second condition was, what else did you want? And it's like, I want to know your plan. And that it is to destroy justice using those special bullets, which then we do get to find out some things going elsewhere with Sun Eater and Red Riot with their internship with part of his name I always forget. Fat Gum. That's it, Fat Gum. He's an interesting looking one. He's quite large. We actually saw like the back of him last week. I was like, who is this person? Is that who they're mentoring under or whatever? And yep, it was him. He was much smaller in that picture, so had no idea who he would be. He's a rather large man, and apparently eats a lot. But given his name, I guess that makes sense. But they're just walking around in town and everything, and we find out that Sun Eater is just the most depressive hero you've ever met. If it wasn't for what his quirk is and his potential talent that is alluded to in this, it's like, well, how is he one of the big three? I mean, the other two seem at least confident in their abilities. He's just, I don't know. Kind of reminds me of myself. But, minus the talent part. But, whatever. Anyway, what was it? Oh, yeah. They were just walking down the street and everything. Kind of just a normal patrol. Fat Gum's like, there's been a lot of fights between, like, delinquents and whatnot, and one of his statements didn't make sense to me. It was like that you're lucky because we don't normally take up arms. I guess maybe it was because of the influx of fighting. And turns out he's actually the one who seeked out Sun Eater, which is kind of interesting. And he's like, he's got a lot of potential and everything. He just needs to work on he needs mental training. Which, I can just imagine what he's capable of which we find out what his powers are. Because there's these, like, 4 or 5 people that come running and is like, who told you could be on our turf? I don't know if that was from someone off screen or not. But they're running, and Fat Gum, like, his body just kind of engulfs them in a way when they ran into him. Which he said that, like, they were like, oh no, it's Fat, and it's like, that's Mr. Fat of, what did he say it was? It was like immersion, master of immersion. So I'm guessing he can, like, store people in his body or something, or kind of like engulf them and then kind of like hold on to them with his fat. I don't know. But one of them slips away because he has a quirk similar to, what was it, Edgehead? I forget, it was Edge something. He says Edge, but I can't remember. Edgebuster? No. I don't know. But anyway, you'll know who I'm talking about. He kind of becomes all thin and everything, and he slips past Fat Gum, but then that's when Sun Eater reveals his powers, which it was like octopus fingers. And I was like, okay, that's interesting, and I thought maybe it had something to do with, like, Sun Eater, as in, like, lives in the darkness, or just eats light. But no, turns out whatever he eats, he becomes. His power is reappearance. And I've seen things like that before. It's basically Wample's power from One Piece. But it's a good power. I mean, you are what you eat, literally. And depending on what you eat and whatnot, that can be quite powerful. He tentacle fingers to grab the guy and hold him in place, and then he hits him in the head with his other hand, which is a giant clam. And then he holds him down with a chicken foot, because he ate fried chicken. So he had clams, fried chicken, and octopus that day. I don't know if he has like a time limit on his powers, but that's still pretty cool. And then he was like, yeah, my powers are this way. I didn't even need the wings. So he gained wings along with the chicken leg. But I do like his powers, but as it's shown at the end, he may not have them anymore, because one of the, I guess it was an unseen person because there were like a couple of them that we couldn't see their faces, was of that one group that was captured. He was in the crowd and he pulled out a gun and he shoots the little needle bullet that neutralizes powers, and it hits Sun Eater. And Red Riot goes in and it's like, and he takes the second hit. Or I assume it was a hit that was actually meant for him. But with his hardening ability, he's not harmed by it. And the dude was like, wait, what? He took the bullet? And, you know, Fat Mo is off. Fat Mo. Fat Gum. Why did I say Fat Mo? So yeah, he had like told them to get down, but now Red Riot is red hot angry because it's like, I will capture him. And then he rushes off. And I can only assume that like the bullet that like bounces off of Red Riot is probably the one that Tamura has, that he showed off, because where else would he have gotten one? So, interesting chapter. I do like the developments that we got to get some better introductions to characters, the layout kinda of the 8 prefects of death hideout. We got to see some powers, explanations of them, Sun Eater's personality further elaborated on, and a new weapon. So yeah, good chapter. I give it a 4 because while I did enjoy it, there were a few things I would have liked them to have gone a bit more in detail with, like what is Fat Gum's powers. But other than that, it was a good chapter. I recommend you read it. And thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Quiche Lings, roll out.